And welcome back to the AM Club right here on MX24 TV, home of fan, fearless, and factual stuff. My name is Godwin Nambo, and Godwin Nambo on all social media platforms. Before we move on, Kofi Owusu Prepare Ministries and MX24 TV presents Kofi Owusu Prepare live in concert. It's a night of great music, worship, and the launch of the Father's Gift album. Now, the guests include my good friend Niela, Efe Grace, Luigi McLean, and the legendary Mrs. Amy Newman. The date is this Sunday, about some 4 days away from now, 22nd May 2022. The time is 4 p.m. and the venue is the National Theatre in Accra. Standard tickets for some cool 60 Ghana cedis and 150 Ghana cedis for an unforgettable VIP experience. Now, for tickets, please, it's simple. Dial star 725 star 7000 hash, star 725 star 7000 hash, or let me see hash. Also contact ticket hotline 0271 425 445 0271 425 445. The sponsors are a lot: Woodin, Total Family Health Organization, DSTV Ghana, IP Ghana, Joy FM, Lucozade, Fan Milk, Ocean Spray and Vitrac, Meridian Natural Mineral Water, Always Sanitary Pad, Electromat, Vanna Natural Mineral Water, Innesfly and Series. Get your Woodin fabric from their shop in Accra and win a ticket to the concert. Remember, every time is worship time, and it's now time for Lifestyle Daily, where we will be talking about working from home, the pros and cons. Now, during the peak of COVID-19, more people than ever before began working remotely, and this has become the norm for some people over the last 2 years. Thanks to ever-evolving technologies like Skype, FaceTime, Zoom, among others, not to even mention texting and email, it's no longer necessary to be in an office full-time to be a productive member of the team. In fact, many kinds of work can be done just as effectively, if not more so, from a home office. But at the end of the day, which environment allows us to be more productive? The home office or the actual office? How can one maximize their potential while working from home and make sure that they reach all the goals they've set for themselves? We'll find out more in our conversation, but before we get into it, let me know your thoughts about this particular topic, your questions as well. My guests are ready to serve us some good answers. So do so on our WhatsApp number. It's 055033 1511, 055033 1511, or tweet at us at MX24GH with the hashtag the AM Club. Joining me this morning, two big men in the words of Bernard Avle. Big men. We have Kuku Edem Domanka. He's the group head of talent at BTL Africa. To my immediate right, and then to my left, you have Delasi Dogbe. He's a corporate coach and transformational speaker. I'll also be telling you about his new CD. It's called Not Easily Broken. It is well with Delasi Dogbe. We'll talk about that later. But gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Everybody looking sharp with the tough times and good vibes, guys. Welcome.
And I like your style as well.
Thank you very much.
Easy Wednesday.
Yes. Anyways, my job allows me to do so. And speaking of which, if I was home, I'll probably be in singlet and boxers and just be moving around. But what is your take on this particular conversation? Let me start with you, Darcy.
Okay.
Do you think which one do you prefer?
Okay, I've experienced working at home, training people who are working at home, and work with different kinds of organizations. But I'm of the school that a hybrid for us is the best. 3 days at home, 2 days at work, or 2 days at work, 3 days at home. A lot of factors come into play. It depends on the kind of organization you're dealing with.
Right.
Some organizations have the infrastructure or the structure to handle working at home and being flexible. I remember during the COVID time, some insurance companies were still struggling with working at home. Other insurance companies were ready. They had their apps, they had their systems working, so it was easy for them to work at home. So it always depends on the kind of organization you are dealing with. It depends on the employees as well. So for me, I always believe in hybrid.
You, Goku?
I like the perspective from which Dela is coming from. So what we're talking about, remote working, what are we really talking about? Basically, the type of employment arrangement where employees don't necessarily have to commute to a central place or location, like a physical structure, to be able to work.
Yeah.
So we're talking about more or less a technology-enabled kind of work environment, which is boundaryless, and that I'm talking about physical structures, like this flexibility of work. And it's just another form of agile working. you know, like the working from home. And agile working, as was defined by Paul also, who is the founder of Agile Organization, and he says it's about bringing people, places, connectivity, technology, time, and place together in a way that helps work to be more effective. And you know, he was talking more or less about the boundaries, like allow people to have flexible time to work, flexible space to work. And so for me, I think that every learning organization, and by learning organization, I mean organizations that are open to change. They're adaptive, they're always picking up new knowledge to see how they can influence behavior of their people, their culture, and develop alongside. You know, every learning organization that is forward thinking, that is progressive, should be thinking about remote working, because that is the age in which we are. Now, consider the new crop of employees we want to have, like the Gen Z. I was talking to somebody recently. They are the new crops that are coming into, because they are done with tertiary. They want the easy life, the soft life, right? And if you think about them, some you interview them and they tell you point blank, I want remote working. And it's either that or nothing. And it's strange, you know, for our generation, like the millennials.
It sounds alien to us.
Yeah, when you talk to, like, you know, work hard, you know, strive hard, hustle, but they are somehow comfortable. And but truth of the matter is that they are also some of the high talented people.
Yeah.
So for a business that may want to employ them, then you need to be thinking about, you know, remote working. Again, for parents, like the maternity conversations going on. There are parents who are back from maternity, but they still have to attend to their children at home. They wish they had an opportunity to work from home and have that flexibility to attend to their children while they still work on the job that is expected of them. Then we talk about diversity or inclusion. So the physically challenged people who may not have to be able to make it to the office space. How do you still get them to work for you? And then if you look at our global talent, can I have people in US working for me in Ghana? How can they work for me without being physically present? Then you want to think about remote working. So yes, I think for me, someone who is for learning organizations, I think that remote working is a way to go. But we can't play the ostrich and assume that it's everybody's cup of tea or it's for every profession. Not everybody will excel at that. The people who have to work with machines and equipment, obviously you don't expect them to be working from home. I mean, there's a joke that assuming your maid or your cleaner comes to tell you that today I want to work from home. Like, which home? Your home. He's supposed to come and clean for you, absolutely. You know, and take care of home. But if he says he's working from, so it's not for everybody. So I think that's part of the conversation we need to look at.
I see.
So
Could you make an argument for remote working?
Yeah.
And then you believe, Dallas, you believe in the hybrid version. And I can attest to even what Kweku was saying, because I remember when we started working, there were some Gen Zs amongst us who was always, you know, why do I have to come to the office? Why do I have to come to the office when I can actually, you know, stay home and work? You know, so I've heard people make that complaint. But I read a couple of weeks ago about some law firm in the UK which has decided that they're offering their staff the opportunity to work from home for 20% less salary.
Okay.
What do you make of this?
Yes, again to 20% salary. So you as the employee, you need to do a calculation. Okay, transportation, the time I spend in and out, what you need to cost it. So once you cost it and it's fine for you, it works well. You know, for example, in Ghana, moving from one place to another is very expensive. Yeah. So if I get that offer, I'll think about it, and yes, I might take it. So I think it's not a bad idea. But again, it depends on the organization. It depends on the employees you are dealing with. You know, different organizations have different culture. Employees have different culture. How they see remuneration, how they see salary, and all those things. For some people, they want to see at the end of the month, this is how much is coming into my account. 20% might be a problem, but once you do the analysis and it's fine for you, I'm sure you can go for it.
I mean, we don't have the facts, we don't have statistics here to show, but I want to believe that most employers in Ghana do not like the idea of their staff working from home. Why do you think this is so?
So I like the fact that you said you don't have the data.
I'm just surmising,
I think it will be an overgeneralization to say that, because in Ghana, we have different kinds of businesses. There are multinational companies in Ghana, international companies. We have the SMEs and all of that. So there are some best practices in multinational companies that cut across. So some might have been practicing some form of remote working. Maybe not totally, but they have maybe one day work from home, or, you know, flexible work hours, you know, all of that in there. But if you talk about typical Ghanaian manager, or maybe some of our business owners, in Ghana, then I can understand you. The first and foremost, I think, has to do with our culture. We are a communal kind of people, and we believe in the social life. So we love to gather.
Exactly.
We love to see people being together. The remote working more of like isolate people, individualized kind of working, even though it may be effective and efficient for some people. So first and foremost, I want to put it to the culture. Like that's our way of life. Even somebody work from home, I've spoken to somebody and says, it's tiring because I can't see my friends, I can't see my colleagues, you know. And there's this thing I hold about team building spirit. And we believe that for how we've done it over the period, we have to gather. And now there's a need to change of mindset to see how can we still build a culture of teamwork even if we're not working from the office directly. So that is also there. But then again, also for some managers, if you talk about the leadership schools of thought and different leadership styles, it is because some managers believe more in management by observation.
Right.
And by that, it means that they want to see people physically present in the office and seeing them doing the work before they can validate the fact that they are working. So if that is not happening, they are jittery, they are wondering if they are paying people for the work they're asking them to do or they are not really doing it. So that happens, but it also has its own negative effect.
Absolutely, and that's what I want us to get into. But Koku, you also agree that when it comes to, like you said, it's usually multinationals who are very flexible with this kind of working from home. Because I have friends who work with Facebook and others, and they'll come to Ghana without the office knowing that they are in Ghana and still be working from here. And even over there, they work from home. It's allowed, it's flexible. But for typical Ghanaian companies, like you said, they like to see their staff in the office doing the work. Now, let's analyze the pros and cons of working from home and working from the office. I was telling the lassie that I noticed that when I get home, sometimes I get home early when I don't have anything else to do, and I'm not productive. Because when you get home, there's this thing about home, and this is personal, there's this thing about home that makes me very relaxed. You know, there's food, there's TV, there's my laptop, all right, there's stuff that I can do, but it's really difficult for me to want to do any work when I get home. So I guess being here with my colleagues, Timo the photographer, my producer here, that kind of pushes me to want to do stuff. So let's analyze the pros and cons. What do you think, since you make an argument for a hybrid working sort of thing, what do you think are the pros and cons? Pros, let's start with pros of working from home and working from the office.
So working from home, the first thing most Ghanaians will think about is transportation.
Beautiful.
Moving from Kaswa to High Street is really difficult.
Full price. Let's
Full
go.
price. Your time. You see people in traffic and they are very stressed. Depression will set in. And then, so those are the negativities when it comes to working at work.
In the office.
But working from home, you have even enough time for your family. It's all about being structured. It's all about knowing what to do at what time. You also get to, for example, you also get to take it easy. Normally, when we're working with sales teams, you notice that Monday morning is always pressure. But imagine working from home and you have to, I'm saying the hybrid. So working from home, the first 2 hours you are home. So by the time you are done with your Monday morning meeting, traffic is gone down. You go to work, you're comfortable. The stress is gone. And Monday starts the whole week.
Why?
There's a psychological thing behind that.
This brings me to that question. Like, same thing a millennial, Gen Z asked me, Gen Z is Gen X, I don't know which one of them it is, sometimes it's very confusing. You know, it's like, but why do I have to be in the office at 7 though, Godwin? It's like, why can't I come in at 10? It's not like I'm sleeping at home. Whatever you want me to do, I'm doing it till 10 when I can come to the office. But why do I have to stay in traffic, wake up very early and rush to the office by 7 when I can equally save that time to do? Why?
It's a mindset thing. In most organizations, when you get in early, it means you're a serious person. When you get out late, it means that you're not serious. But when you do the analysis, most of our working hours, the productive hours, are not 7 hours, between 3 to 4 hours. You understand? That normally is between 8 and 12. By 12, 1 p.m., people are tired. So it has to do with the mindset and the culture. Once you're able to bypass that mindset thing that you can work from anywhere. I spoke to a CEO recently and she said that it's working for them. They've given their team flexibility and giving them that task and giving them that authority that we believe in you. How you're going to deliver, just deliver. And they find very interesting ways to deliver. So it's a mindset kind of thing. So once we can train and bypass that mindset challenge, we're fine.
Interesting. Let's look at the cons as well. You give the pros?
Yeah, I gave the pros.
Okay.
So again, too, it's important that what working from home does for you is that life balance. It gives you this working and being able to even take care of your children, take care of yourself. You know, in this part of the world, working is always we're always in a hurry. We're always,
true.
you know, but we notice that a lot of people are less stressed when they work from home.
Kuku, so I think you gave a bit of the cons as well.
Yeah,
so let me quickly ask you, what should...
Just want to add to that, because it was more focused on the employee, but also what is the gain for the employers, you know. So one of the ways we've seen, which is talked about, is high productivity for employers, because people learn to manage their time, especially for when the mindset comes in. Like I was saying, it's because our mindset is more like you need to see people present. So presenteeism. If they are not present, then they are not working. So for managers who think that that has to be happen, that's how they are looking at it. But if we begin to think more about results, then we're looking at management by objectives or the flexible work hours. Whatever it is, this is the task I've given you. Objective clearly defined. Just get it done. So if it means you being at home and getting me the result, it's okay. So it's helped in a way that is brought high productivity for employers, and also save costs, because if we're looking at, look at this place, all the air condition and everything that is on, you know, and the renting of space and all of that. So cost is reduced for employers again, as well as it helps people to give their very best, you know. But when we look at the cons, you're talking about the cons. As much as we argue for the work-life balance, some people will tell you that it kind of dovetails into each other. When does work stop and when does work begin? Whilst I'm home. So there is no start time and more like a stop time, because you want to check the mail and respond to just one email, and you realize there are lots of other mails you have to respond to. So quickly you are engaged and get involved in work. So whilst the argument is for work-life balance, for some people too, it's really not working,
not like that.
you know. And then there is the whole depression thing, because people are isolated from work. Depending on the personality type, people actually want to vibe with their colleagues and friends, and now they are home and they have to work from home, and they getting depressed because they don't have that touch. And then also potential conflicts at home. Just imagine you and your husband, you and your wife, you know, like from 24/7, from morning till evening, you are in each other's face. Like men. Say again.
This one is for you people.
I know, right?
People to get away.
You know, sometimes you just want some little space, and sometimes you can avoid the challenge of solving a problem which is at home immediately. If you were at the office, you know, okay, when I get home, I'm going to solve it once it's not urgent, you know. But once you are home and it shows up, you want to. And then there's the distraction bit, where you are on a call and your child is shouting and coming in, or the doorbell rings, you know, you have to attend to it. But again, for learning organization, they're actually even been open to this whole virtual meetings where your child may pop up and say, yeah, we understand, you know, that's the new way of working. So if it happens, don't get, you know, agitated and jittery, just allow them, but then put yourself together and get working.
When the last, which one would we say, based on everything we've said, is more effective? Working from home or working from the office, both for the employer and the employee? Which one would we think is, or makes a better argument that, you know what, working from home has more pros, so maybe something that we start considering, or working from the office is much better, even regardless of the times we're in? Which one would you say is more effective? He says a hybrid no matter what. So what would you say?
I think it's both a hybrid, and if you can go the full haul, why not go? But obviously...
The full haul for what?
Like
working from
remotely,
yeah,
working. Like, you know. And like I'm saying, the remote has different ways of work. You can talk about the flexible hours. So you determine, you're supposed to work maybe 8 hours.
8 hours a day.
You know, so how are you going to structure that 8 hours? You can decide to start at 12 noon, you know, and end at 12 midnight, whatever it is. But the point is that at the end of the day, get the result out there. So that can be, it could be job sharing, where some people come in and then the other comes in to replace shift system. And so there are different ways to look at it. It depends on the industry in which you are. For me, so I bring it back to the context. You know, what kind of industry are you? If your work requires that you are constantly on the field, and you said, okay, we're going to work remotely, work from home, you want to define specifically which people should work from home, which people should be on the field when it's necessary. So you want to talk about fairness of work. So it comes back to having a policy that works for everybody. You may start gradually, like as one of the things we're doing at BTL Africa is to start off with changing the working hours. So instead of 8 o'clock, we say, okay, let's start some of the days at 9 o'clock.
Nice.
So people can relax and come in and start work. It's a way of gradually, because during the COVID era, we all of us actually were forced to go work from home. For me, I think it was effective as well. So I think depending on the industry in which you are, the kind of job you are even doing, because it might not work for every kind of job. Let me ask you, just Google the top 10 companies or brands that are working remotely. You'll be surprised. All the 10 are mostly tech companies. Apple,
tech companies,
Microsoft,
tech companies.
So I'm saying that when we're making this argument,
we should also consider the kind of work and the kind of work.
Quickly, I just want to add that it's important. I know it's important that
30 seconds.
Companies also invest in their staff working from home. It takes a lot of investment. The systems, monitoring systems, policy guidelines, therapy for their staff, constant training for them to understand where they are going, and then automation. You can go to a lot of organizations now. You still go to the library or the records room, and that old man is still there. He handles everything. Instead of pushing it to database or exactly softwares and all. So it depends on the company trying to make sure that they provide what their staff needs, and that should work.
Amazing, amazing. We are so pressed for time. There's so many questions here I want to ask you, but we're so pressed for time. I want to see if we have any question here quickly before we go. Okay, this is my daily dose of Vim. Not a question for this. This is daily dose of Vim. Which one is it? Look, okay, still daily dose of Vim. So, gentlemen, goodness, I want to ask what we should consider before, working remotely. But maybe another time we'll continue this conversation. But quickly, not easily broken. It as well. The Lassie Dogbe, beautiful CD. You said this is a motivational.
It's an audiobook.
Audiobook.
So it's a book that comes with voice, music, and everything. So when you're listening to it, you feel the vibe in there. So the whole idea is that whatever happens in life, challenges will come, but it depends on how you handle it. It depends on how you fight it. If you're able to fight, you win at the end.
So this is perfect for those who are working remotely. If you're at home, you can slot this in and be listening and doing your work. Or if you also come into the office like we have to do every morning.
I just want to ask, as we're talking about remote working and all of that, HR managers and employers should understand that it's a change conversation. So they need to put policies in place that guides it. Because, even the labor law, there may be gaps with all this new way of work. So they need to be intentional about it, train people, engage them, and let them understand what this means for the organization and for them as well. The pros and the cons, like we're talking about.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. The last, where can I get this?
So once you call 026 200 6190, we'll deliver.
Social media?
Tobigan De Lassie.
Tobigan De Lassie.
Yes, sir. Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you, bro. Kweku, thank you so much.
Pleasure having us.
Kweku Edem Domanka is Group Head of Talent at BTL Africa, and De Lassie Dogbe is a corporate coach, transformational speaker, and an author. Thank you guys so much. Kweku, I didn't ask your social media if you want to put it out there.
Domanka.
The man, Damanka. Yes. We're a big man. It's a big man. Thank you guys so much for your time. Guys, you're still watching the AM Club right here on MX24 TV. Abner's, you're moving to Fashion Wednesday and we're discussing